Hello, my name is Gabriel Davison Alexander. So now I will presenting my study, which titled Graduate Employment and Workspace Dynamic in the Oil and Gas Sector, a comparative study of three multinational companies. Okay, now we're moving on to the content section. In this presentation, I will be include 5 sections. The first one is introduction. Second one is methodology. Third one is finding or result. And the fourth one will be discussion. And the last one will be recommendation and conclusion. To begin, I'd like to introduce the content of this study and why it is important for fresh graduates who are looking to enter the oil and gas industry. The oil and gas industry has long been the backbone of global energy and economic growth. Even though renewable energy is expanding, oil and gas continue to play a critical role in powering industry, transportation, and infrastructure worldwide. At the same time, the industry is undergoing a major energy transition. Companies are investing in cleaner technology and sustainability while still maintaining their traditional operation. This creates both challenges and opportunity for the workforce. For graduates, this means entering a field that highly technical, global in scope, and full of opportunities to contribute to both traditional energy supply and future innovation. However, success in these sectors require more than academic qualifications. Graduates must adapt to stringent safety standards, multicultural work environment, and demonstrate problem-solving skill, adaptability, and teamwork. So this study focused on three major oil and gas companies, which are Aramco from Saudi Arabia, Petronas from Malaysia, and Chevron from United States of America. This company was chosen because of their international presence, strong reputation, and their relevant to local and international graduates. This study looks specifically at 4 areas: recruitment practice, workplace communication, organizational culture, and career development pathway. Together, this area provide insight into what graduates can expect when starting a career in the oil and gas industry. In summary, the introduction highlight both the global significance of oil and gas and professional expectation graduates need to prepare for. Next, I walk you through the methodology used to carry out this study. Now that I have outlined the background of the study, let me explain the methodology that I use. This study is based on secondary research, which means I rely on official and credible resource rather than primary data collection. This approach ensures that the analysis is accurate, reliable, and comparable across the company. To gather the data, I review three main types of sources. First, career portals, which provide details on entry-level roles, required skills, and application procedure. Second, corporate sustainability and value statements, which highlight each company mission, workplace culture, and inclusion practices. And third, industrial report and articles, which offer high insight into recruitment trends and workplace environment. Although employee interview were not conducted due to the scope of this study, these secondary sources are highly reliable and provide a solid foundation for analysis. This makes it possible to build balanced understanding of how Aramco, Petronas, and Chevron structure their workplace practice for graduates. With the methodology explained, I now moving on to the findings. Now, let's compare how Petronas, Chevron, and Aramco approach skill, entry-level roles, application process, and career growth for graduates. Starting with Petronas, graduates are expected to have HSE and offshore certificate, and in some cases, technical or programming skill. Entry-level roles usually begin with internship or the GIS graduate scheme. The application process is structured. It starts with an online CV submission, followed by assessment and then interviews. Career progression is supported through GIS training, conversion opportunity, and rotation via InStep, which help employees gain diverse field experience. Moving on to Chevron, the emphasis is on an engineering degree with HSE certification like NIBOSH or OSHA being an advantage. Fresh graduates typically enter through the Horizon program or internship in engineering, HSE, or IT. The hiring flow is similar: online application, then tests, and interviews. One key strength of Chevron is the structured 5-year Horizon program, which combines mentorship, job rotation, and even tuition support for further studies. This highlights Chevron's long-term investment in employee development. Finally, at Aramco, candidates are expected to hold not just a degree, but also a range of technical certification like NDT, ASNT, NACE, API, and ASME. Entry-level opportunity include graduate position as well as technical apprenticeship. This process is slightly more rigorous: an online CV submission, screening, multiple interviews, and even medical and background check. Career growth follow a clear path from graduate training to project assignment and eventually leadership roles, especially for those who perform well. Next, let's look at how workplace communication is structured in Petronas, Chevron, and Aramco. This is important because effective communication directly impacts collaboration, safety, and culture understanding in global oil and gas company. At Petronas, the main communication tools include email, the Petronas 360 intranet, memos, and project management platforms. The approach is a mix of formal and informal. Formal report and templates are used for accountability, but informal chats are common for daily day-to-day collaboration. Meetings are structured with status update, town halls, and frequent HSE campaigns to reinforce safety culture. Cross-department communication is supported through cross-functional project, and diversity is managed with clear communication protocols. Chevron use a wide range of communication tools: email, intranet, energy veil, leadership video, and even an internal TV show. The culture here is a top-down and formal, but balanced with vibrant internal social media that allows employees to engage more freely. Communication is reinforced through annual employee surveys, Casadec team meetings, and global town halls. They also have a strong cross-culture communication framework through the One Chevron platform and global voice strategy, which creates space for online dialogue across country. Saudi Aramco use tools like Aramco Live Portal, Skype for business, and email as their main channel. Communication tends to be PR-led and formal, but there is also room for informal peer-to-peer interaction. Key practices include safety briefings, project meetings, and strong visual campaign to spread message across their massive workforce. Because of the highly international environment, Aramco invests in cultural training and mediated cross-culture communication to bridge differences. Now, let's examine workplace culture and value across Petronas, Chevron, and Aramco. These areas are key because they shape employee behaviors, motivation, and long-term career satisfaction. At Petronas, the core value are sustainability, progress, integrity, loyalty, and cohesion. The workplace is formal and professional with a strong focus on safety. In terms of diversity, Petronas emphasizes community uplift, local inclusion, and respect for rights, reflecting its nation role in Malaysia. Training and development opportunities include GIS program, rotational training, and structured leadership tracks, which prepare graduates for both technical and leadership roles. Chevron builds its culture around people first, partnership, performance, trust, and innovation. The workplace environment is team-based, performance-driven, and safety-first, encouraging collaboration and innovation. Chevron invests heavily in diversity and inclusion with robust employee resource group, inclusion training, and bias awareness program. Its Horizon graduate scheme, mentoring opportunities, tuition support, and leadership roles within ERGs highlight the company focus on continuous growth and inclusion. Saudi Aramco values safety, citizenship, integrity, accountability, and excellence. The environment is generally formal but decentralized, which still rooted in a strong safety-first mindset. Aramco emphasizes gender and national inclusion through Saudi station and support diversity with framework like the GDIM system. For training and development, Aramco provide vocational academics, scholarship, apprenticeship, and structured leadership programs, making it one of the most extensive training providers in the industry. In the discussion, I will compare the findings across 4 areas: shared principles, graduate development, communication practice, and workplace culture. First, all three companies emphasize safety, technical competence, and adherence to international HSE standards. However, the approach differs based on national priorities. For example, Chevron's focus on global safety certification like NIBOSH and OSHA. Aramco emphasizes inspection-based certification such as NACE and ASNT to maintain strict quality control. Meanwhile, Petronas incorporates local certification like SKM, reflecting its commitment to building Malaysian workforce. Second, all three companies offer structured graduate development programs. Petronas runs the GIS program targeted at Malaysian graduates. Chevrons offer the Horizon program with global exposure, and Aramco provide rotational and apprenticeship pathway to balance Saudization and expertise integration. Despite the difference, each program combines technical learning with leadership development and monitoring. Third, in terms of communication, Petronas relies on standardized document and templates. Chevron blends formal channels with informal platforms like Energyvale, and Aramco has modernized its communication through initiatives such as Aramco Live. This reflects different culture approach, but all aim to strengthen teamwork and collaboration. Finally, all three share a strong safety-first philosophy. Their values, however, differ slightly. Petronas focus on sustainability and enriching life. Chevron emphasizes reliable and cleaner energy, and Aramco highlights resilient and national development. Diversity also varies. Chevrons show the strongest global diversity initiative, while Petronas and Aramco tailor theirs to regional priorities. This insight provides a clearer picture of what graduates can expect when entering this company. To conclude, let me summarize the key lessons from this study. In conclusion, this study highlights several important takeaways for fresh graduates who wish to build careers in oil and gas. First, graduates should focus on both hard and soft skills, obtaining certificates such as HSE and both said, can improve employability, while skills in communication, teamwork, and problem solving will support success in the workplace. Second, once employed, graduates should actively engage in training, mentorship, and cross-cultural projects. These opportunities strengthen professional competency and open up pathway for career advancement. Third, adopting a global mindset is key. Graduates who are flexible and willing to relocate internationally, particularly with companies like Chevron and Aramco, will expand their opportunity for growth. To sum up, Aramco, Petronas, and Chevron are not the only leading employers in the oil and gas, but also organizations deeply committed to safety, sustainable, and employee development. With thoughtful preparation and a willingness to learn, graduates can build meaningful and successful careers in the global energy industry. That is all from me. Thank you.